podcast. Yeah, it's the Steve Gunner podcast. You're tuned in to the Steve Gunner podcast. Get up, it's the Steve Gunner podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the Steve Gunter podcast, where we discuss the steps, the strategies, and the mindset of real estate investing tailor-made for the pro athlete. I'm your host, Steve Gunter, and it's an honor and privilege to be with you today. Look, folks, today I have a treat for you. Cari Higgins is one of the top agents in the entire country. She leads the number one medium-sized team in Boulder County, the number 3 medium-sized team in Colorado. By the way, a highly skilled communicator, which only adds to her elite negotiating skills, which I'm sure her clients are just very pleased about. And get this, she was a 23-time USA cycling national champion, a Division I soccer player from the University of Alabama. And when she's not selling all the real estate in Colorado, Cari is engaged in her philanthropic endeavors, coaching the Olympic development cycling team and spending family time with her husbands. Oh, that's great. And her 2 Rottweilers. You got to show that clip to your husband, by the way.
He'll say, if I can have one, you can have one too.
That's right. That's right. Anyway, Cari Higgins, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to chat with you.
Look, there's so much for you and I to talk about. And, I spent a lot of time just learning more about you over the past couple of days before we got a chance to chat today. But before we get to all of that, I want to first start this interview off right by asking the question that everybody want to know. What is the excitement around Boulder like right now with Coach Prime over at UC? What is it like?
That guy has electrified this town. It is so fun. First of all, I want you to know that I grew up in Atlanta. So I grew up watching this guy, right? Like, I'm a child of the 80s. He was my guy. I mean, early 90s, like high school age for me. So Neon Dion, like that's my boy. Like, and so the fact when he came to Boulder, I thought I was dreaming. Like, I just thought that this can't be real. Like, it can't be that my Boulder world is colliding with my childhood.
Yep.
And so I thought I would be maybe the only one excited, but he has just brought such a fun vibe to this town. He's really brought college football back to Boulder, which we kind of lost for a while. Like, I was a season ticket holder for about 15 years. I gave up my season tickets finally after years of my husband saying, we're over, we're done, this is boring.
Yep.
Gave up my season tickets 2 years before Prime came, and Coach Prime now, I mean, luckily I got back in, but now you can't get season tickets. It's wonderful. We love it.
It's incredible. I actually do remember the time when the Colorado Buffaloes were the team. I mean, Cordell Stewart, Rashawn Salam. I mean, some great players came through that university, and they were a sight to see. And now having Coach Prime there, and I mean, not even just the on the field talent, but the talent that comes to the games and is on the sideline. It's wild.
I mean, like rock stars, rap stars, like just old teammates of his who like are just, it's really like we see these people. Our town is small. This is 100,000 people who live in this town. So when these folks come to town and are dining out, like we see this is like, we're not in a big city like LA or Atlanta or anything. So yeah. So on and off the field, he's brought a lot of energy, really, really positive energy. Like, some people have some negative things to say about that guy. I can't find one that I agree with, because he on and off the field is a legit good person. And I think I believe he's coaching for all the right reasons, right? He's not coaching because he needs the ego boost. He's coaching because he loves to help young men. But the fun part is he shows up at the women's basketball games. He shows up at the women's volleyball games. Like, he shows up and just brings excitement back to the town in general for sport.
Yeah, it really has been quite the storyline to follow, and I'm looking forward to this year as well. And and just seeing how well they do, how much they improve, because I'm
Yeah,
sure they're going to, still have some areas that where they need to improve. But I feel pretty strongly that they
I
just
hope
may
we
be in
have
a bowl
a lot of
game this year.
offensive linemen. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah,
That was our need last year. So
yeah,
anyway, it'll be exciting. College football is, I think, just going to continue to get more and more exciting, just because of the portal and everything that has changed, good and bad. Like, it just makes every year a new year, kind of start over. So it'll be really
absolutely.
exciting to see what he can do for his second year in Boulder.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, let's talk about you. And, you have quite the athletic experience as well. And I first want to start with your election to the board of directors in 2021. You became the first woman to hold a leadership position on the USA Cycling Board of Directors. How much did that mean to you?
Yeah, I think I didn't realize what a big deal it is and what a role and ability I have. Excuse me, that's mine. I'm going to turn
Hmm.
that off real fast.
Sure.
Um, so it meant a lot to me. I mean, I love giving back in many ways. And I used to do a ton of coaching for like the up and coming talent for cycling and for
Mhm.
soccer, but mainly cycling. And the older I get, the more removed I get from like the coaching techniques and, and really being able to connect with an 18-year-old. That's harder and harder like, as we age, just naturally,
Sure.
not because I don't have that desire. So this is a way to give back to the sport and make improvements in the sport on a more in a more business environment, right? So to be
Hmm.
able to address concerns at a board level and be the chairwoman of the board has been wonderful. I mean, it's been great for my learning on this in the business side of NGB's national governing bodies, which report to the USOPC, all the Olympic sports.
Hmm.
Um, I just feel like it's a way that I can continue to try to improve the sport, even though I'm not an active athlete, and kind of getting more removed from those younger active athletes.
Do you feel that it's important for you to still be involved in athletics in some way?
Yes. Is it important for the world? I don't know. Is it
Hmm.
important for me and who I am at my soul? Absolutely.
Hmm.
So I don't think it's a selfish endeavor by any means. It's way too many hours to be considered selfish. But I think it's important because I don't want to just leave sport alone. It's such a big part of my life. And I'm sure we'll get into that. But like,
Hmm.
it's been such a big part of who I am as a human that I can't imagine not trying to make that a better environment for the next round and next generation of athletes. I
Yeah.
think it produces such wonderful like business leaders, entrepreneurs, that I just want to give back in any way that I can, but specifically in this governance role now.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. You did something quite extraordinary later in life, though. At an age, Carrie, where most people are seeking comfort, seeking stability, at the age of 32, you pursue cycling full time. What about your competitive nature just wouldn't leave you alone, and it compelled you to want to get after it full time?
I know. I mean, I'm sure you can appreciate that competitive nature now that I know you're golfing every day. After getting a taste.
Yep.
No, yeah. I mean, here, as the story goes, it's in my blood, right? Like my parents are both athletes, both very competitive by nature. I mean, my family's like we're consistently competing over the silliest and stupidest things ever, like
Mhm.
who can calm themselves down and get the lowest blood pressure at the kitchen table. I mean, just like silly. So, I got a taste of bike racing. I did my first bike race when I was 30 years old, and that was my first. It was just like an intro, and I was like, wait, something sparked. I like, first of all, I think I'm built for this sport, and second of all, I'm going to learn to be the best I can. And then 2 years later, I'm quitting my corporate job to do it full time and travel around the world. It was quite an experience, and definitely not a traditional path to get to where I ended up. Like I ended up
Mhm.
competing at the highest level in the world. I was on the Olympic long team, which only means
Mhm.
that I was the alternate for the 2012 London Olympics on the velodrome. But so to do that at a later age, being as competitive as I am, all I can say is I wish I would have started earlier. Why didn't I start when I was 22, when I was done with soccer? But that's just not how my life rolled. But I think that it taught me so much more than just what athletics can teach you, really.
But here's the thing though. When I think about what you did at such a high level of performance, what does your mental state need? What does your mindset need to be like in order to do that? I mean, we all understand that there is a physical commitment to it, but what does your mindset need to be like, especially in order to be a 23-time national champion? I mean, that's Cari. Look, and I'm not blowing smoke up your ass here. Look, that's like Michael Jordan, winning all the titles that he did, and Tom Brady. Like, winning is hard, Cari.
It's not easy. I'll say it, but God, does it feel good? Does it not?
It does.
Yeah. And what is the mindset of an athlete? I mean, I swear, and this is like something I preach and I preach and I preach. I'll tell you, the mindset of an athlete who can get to the highest level, even if you're not an Olympic champion, even if you don't win an NBA championship, but if you're competing at that level and you're like 0.5% off or 1% off, anyone in that top echelon has the mindset of a winner no matter what they do in life. I don't care if it's sport. I don't care if it's real estate. I don't care if you're cleaning sewer lines. You are going to be the best because it does take a mindset. I think that my standard I set for myself, and sometimes it's a negative that I set it for other people around me, is such that I learn from every mistake, and I look to improve every single time. And so take that into the business world, take that from an athlete, whatever it is, that's the mindset, is like, it's okay. We all have failures. I did not win every single bike race I entered.
Sure.
But my gosh, and it's the same thing in this business. If I don't win a negotiation or feel like I win a negotiation or I don't get a listing, it's failure's okay. So that's my mindset, is failure is okay. It's not okay not to try. It's not okay not to improve.
How important is preparation in your life? I mean, in business or even during your time in athletics, how important was it or is it that you take the time and actually prepare for whatever challenge you are coming upon?
Yeah. I mean, I think preparation and mindset are key, because you can have a very talented athlete, you could have a very talented negotiator or real estate professional. And I'm drawing these parallels because I do think that in the business world, in the athletic world,
Absolutely.
they are so parallel to me.
Absolutely.
I will
Absolutely.
hire any person.
1,000% agreed. Yeah.
So take that mindset of preparation. You can take someone who has all the talent in the world, but if they don't prepare, they don't rest properly, they don't train properly, they don't eat properly, all these different things that are part of preparation in athletics. If you don't do all the steps, you will not make it to the top 1%. And it's the same thing with business. You could have someone who's so connected in the world, and you feel like they've got all the connections in the world. Why are they not producing or whatever it is in the business world? Like, what parallel you draw? But preparation, mindset, and determination, I think those are just so key for success. And for me, no doubt in the athletic world, I'd say that one of my downfalls, and I look back at my career with no regrets, but I think that if I would have learned to rest a little bit more, which is so interesting because now I've really taken that into my business world.
Yeah.
If I had properly rested a little bit more, I think my performance could have been that. And we're talking 0.6% better, right?
Yep.
Like, that's the echelon of what you're competing.
Yep.
So it's not like, oh, I would have improved by 10%. Impossible. You're such a high echelon that it's like 0.6. Or like when on the velodrome, I'm talking about like 100th of a second faster. So it's all the little tiny things. I mean, it's like, so I think if I were to learn to rest and recover more efficiently, or effectively, I should say effectively, that's all the difference. So it's like, again, like that's how I learn. And so I take that into my business world, you
It's
know?
so interesting that it's always the little things
Oh, yeah.
that add up, and if we pay attention to it, whether we're talking about sport, whether we're talking about business, whether we're talking about life, how valuable those details are. I remember watching when God rest his soul, Kobe Bryant was still
Mm,
around, and he did that series called Details on ESPN.
yeah.
And I'm not a basketball guy, Carrie. I watch it. I'm a
Yeah.
fan of it, but you know I'm a shorter guy. Like I can't go and compete with LeBron and those guys. But what I was always fascinated by was the level of detail
Right.
that the way that he approached the game and the way that he articulated the game, and it just made me think, oh my gosh, that little elbow move, whatever that little thing is, or that one step,
Yeah.
was all the difference between him getting the space that he needed in order to take that jump shot or not having the space. And it also, to your point, applies to business. The level of the way that we pay attention to our listing presentations and how well thought out they are. And that's something small, even when it's someone that we know.
Totally. Or a follow-up email. When I see
Hmm.
some emails that other agents write, or other people in the business world, I don't want to dog on any,
Sure,
but
sure.
like, I'm like, the level of detail or no thought given to how you're just replying to an email. Like,
Mm,
and I look at like the Kobe Bryants of the world, and those guys don't make that like drifting back jump shot on accident, right? They've
yep,
practiced that a zillion times. And so like my parallels when it comes to that, like in the world of which I used to live, which is I woke up every morning and I had a purpose, right? Like, so my purpose was, and it got to be like, being a professional athlete is like the most selfish shit in the whole world. I'm telling
yep,
you, like it
yep,
would actually
yep.
hurt my soul. Like I
Sure.
started a whole nonprofit because of it, because I was like, I have got to start using the bikes for something good, not just for like my own health, like my own being. Like,
Right.
but point is you wake up every morning and you're like, what am I going to eat? What
Hmm.
time am I going to start my training? How am I going to best prepare myself for those intervals that I know are going to be super tough? Um, how am I going to have someone else go to the grocery store because I don't want to walk out? I don't want to like resting is important. Like all the like it's like the details and like how you put your shoes on. I mean, some athletes are like over the top OCD about some of this stuff, but it goes to show. I will tell you, a top 1% of any sport, they are meticulous about their
Hmm.
scheduling and about how they prepare for themselves. And same way at the top of the business world. Even if you take the best elementary school teacher in the country or your state or your county or your city, right? That elementary school teacher doesn't happen by accident.
Yep.
They wake up every day with a purpose and they know like today is XYZ day and how I'm going to best prepare, or they say it the night before. But you don't wake up and just kind of like float through the world. And I think that like I think that's what draws a difference in the real estate world, because there are so many of us who are licensed.
Yeah.
The ones who really float to the top are the ones who have purpose every single day, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you probably do it. You probably know every day what we call it, eating the frog, right? Like you wake up there,
Hmm.
you've got those top three things you just have to get done. You don't want to
Yep.
do. Get
Yep.
it done. Move on with your day. Okay, a little dopamine hit, right? I got the hard
Hmm.
things done. Phew.
Hmm.
Now, what are your next 5 objectives, right? Like I don't wait until 10:30 to figure that out. Like I'm a
Hmm.
5 a.m. kind of girl, and I'm like, okay, starting at 7, I'm going to do this. I've already written my email. Like, so I think that's the mindset, and I don't think you have to be born with that. I feel lucky that I was born with that,
Hmm.
but it was also drilled into me. So I'm curious about you.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn the tables here and say, like, your mindset every day. What do you do every day to prepare?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. Rarely do I get questions on a
Oh,
podcast,
I
by the
mean,
way, which is
I
great.
have that. You
I
too.
appreciate it. I
Right.
appreciate it. I have my entire life, Carrie, from the time that I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
I was in athletics,
Yeah.
and you were always operating according to a schedule.
Yeah.
And now that I'm in my adult years, it's hard not to operate that way.
Totally.
And so I have a morning routine,
Okay.
and I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning as well.
Okay.
And whether I am at home or I'm traveling, I have got to still keep that routine.
Interesting.
Um, it's so important to me because for some reason I feel like I'm plugged into the source when I
Yeah.
do that. Whatever you consider the source to be.
Ground.
And
You're just grounded.
yes, and what that then allows me to do is it allows me to get on with my day
Hmm.
with clarity
Totally.
and commitment. And then what I also try to do is I try to only focus on a few things. Um, I used to be the guy, especially earlier on in my career, I had a multitude of tasks
Yeah.
that I would want to get done. And for whatever reason, I'm like, yeah, I'm about to, I'm gonna crush this, I'm gonna crush that, I'm gonna do
Yeah.
this, and then I'm gonna sell, all of these houses. And it's like, you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I began to dwindle down those activities and really focus on the activities that really meant something,
Yeah.
something where it was going to produce 10x results.
Right.
Then I started to get it. And then it brought me back to sport, where in sport, you can't do everything. In football, for
Right.
example, if you're a quarterback, you're going to focus on the things that quarterbacks do.
Yeah. You're
That's
not going
what,
to block for the running back.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
not going to do, you're going to do what you do.
Right.
And that's what I learned to do. And so um, I'm not even sure if I fully answered your question, to be honest, because I feel like I'm talking all over the
You
place.
did. No, no. And what I
Yeah.
love about it is because you set your intention every day and you have
Hmm.
your routine. I mean, I feel like I don't have science to back this, but every successful person has a routine in the morning. I would go out on a limb and tell you there's some science out there, like making your bed. I know there's science about that. Like,
Yep.
if I leave my house and my bed's unmade, and I'm not OCD.
Hmm.
I'm not like like I'm pretty type A, but I'm not
Yep.
over the top.
Yep.
But if I don't make my bed, my whole world feels like it's just like chaos. And if your mind is that's a mindset. And if your
Yeah.
mind is chaos from the beginning of the day, like we've all had those days where we're like, whoa, 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 why am I so out of control?
Mhm.
Those days are probably the days I don't make my bed, which happens like twice a year,
Yep.
But
Right.
so you did answer my question, is that you have a routine, whatever that routine is. Like it could be, some people might be quiet time in prayer. Some people might
Mhm.
be coffee and exercise. Some people might be walking the dog. Some people might be, sitting with their significant
Mhm.
other and having some quiet time together.
Right.
Like everyone has routine. Not everyone. I feel like successful people have routines in the morning. We don't
Yeah.
just wake up and go, what's going to happen? Because if we do that in this career, if you do that in sport,
Hmm.
everything comes at you and you're just trying to play catch and you're defending. Like
Yeah.
that is not a way. You have to be offensive with your day.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a nugget right there. I love that part. I'm still in that, Cari. So the way you got into the real estate business, your husband is a general contractor.
That's right.
And at some point, the way that I understand it, you were assisting him in some manner. And then at some point, you decided to get into real estate full time. What made you decide to make that commitment?
I think I was already doing the work. I mean, I was like, so when we moved to Boulder 23 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
we were in our 20s. It was for my corporate career. He quit his family job, which is in Charlotte, North Carolina, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah. And so quit a family business to come with me. And we were just like dating, like very, not casually, but, enough that we were moving to Boulder together. But so we decided that year, and this was before HGTV made this cool,
Yep.
we were going to buy a house, renovate it, live in it for 2 years, sell it, and not pay capital gains, and just
Mhm.
So we did that many times until we got big enough and experienced enough that we could not have to live in them 2 years and pay, like just do it a little bit quicker. Call it flipping, call it whatever you want.
Yep.
I prefer high-end gut renovations. I mean, it's not paint and carpet. So we've done that for 20 something years. He's done that for 20 something years. So at some point during my second career, which was racing my bike professionally, I have hotel time, recovery time, travel time. And so I'm analyzing all the properties, like what's the upside, what's the margin, what's the budget, what's the this, what neighborhood is the up and coming neighborhood, So I'm doing the studies because I enjoyed it. I love the numbers. I love spreadsheets, and I do like negotiations.
Mm-hmm.
So I finally decided to get my license when this is what happened. I called my agent and I said, I found an off-market opportunity. This woman wants to sell. I've spoken with her on the phone. It's in a great neighborhood. Do you want to go see the house with me? I made this phone call to my agent, who's
Mm-hmm.
still a dear friend of mine.
Sure.
And she said, no, that's okay. I said, okay. So I went to go see the house. I called her afterwards and I said, let's write an offer. This is what we're going to offer. And she said, okay, never saw the house, didn't analyze it for me, didn't know that, and then, here we were 8 months later selling the house, and I had also done all the work on the renovation cost and, subcontractors and,
Yeah.
So I was working the back office of this business.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, like, at the end of the day, like I knew my cycling career was, that's not a forever career. So I thought I was doing the numbers, and I thought in that year, what we would have saved and real estate fees, like if I just had my license and just did it by myself, was a full-time salary for somebody. Like for anybody, like it's probably like, less than average salary now, but that was in 2015 when I did that.
Yeah.
I was still racing my bike. So I just got my license while I was racing my bike and just dabbled only with my husband's business. We've since evolved. Now he and I are purely real estate agent, general contractor relationship. Like I don't have time to manage his design picks and his budgeting and everything else. But that's how I got the start. And like, so I feel like I love it because I feel like I did a deep dive for so many years behind the scenes on every neighborhood in Boulder that I kind of know like street by street, like what the upside, like off the top of my head, like, oh, what's the margin on that house? And I can just like rattle it off. So I still love working with investors.
Very interesting. So you developed a keen sense of recognizing value when you saw it. How important is it to recognize value when you see it in a property? And what are some of the things you look for, Cari?
Yeah, great. I mean, great question. And I mean, I hate to say like the cliche location, but
sure,
it's so important, isn't it?
Yep.
I think it is so important in a town like Boulder where we still have so many people moving here from out of town. I don't know if it's the same where you are, but when people live in a town for a long time, 10 plus years, they know the value of all the neighborhoods. They know what's up and coming. They know like where the parks are, why this neighborhood is special. But we get in Boulder, we always have, but definitely since COVID, so many people moving here from out of town. And if agents don't have the ability to recognize the value of a neighborhood, they're either going to oversell or undersell a neighborhood. And I think value in a town like Boulder is so much more than just square footage of home and the finishes of the home. What I love telling people is like, where's the closest trail? Like, how are you going to get to the trailhead of that so you can climb that mountain without getting in your car? Like, where's the best bike rides around here? Like, the park systems. Oh, if you're a triathlete, which we have tons of professional triathletes that move to this town, like, here's your swimming pools. Like, so it's like, there's so much more than like the finishes of a home and the layout of a home.
That's a great point.
In the value. Like, and so I think there's a ton of great agents in Boulder who can recognize that and articulate that. But it's important for out of state people who are moving to towns like this to have somebody who can talk value beyond just what the house is itself.
Yeah. And you did say it right initially too. I mean, you're right, and it is cliche. I mean, location, location, location.
Yeah,
It makes a huge difference.
huge.
But you know, here in I'm in Raleigh,
Yeah,
North Carolina, and one of the hot locations is Cary, North
yeah,
Carolina, and Cary is in a fantastic location because it's close by the airport. It's close to downtown Raleigh. It's and Raleigh is already like a big park system in of itself. I mean, it's
that's
very
awesome. I didn't know
very
that.
green. It's a lot of trees,
Yeah,
and each part of the city is connected via the park system trails, and so it's really cool in in that manner. But Cary, you kind of go up a couple of notches,
yeah. Okay.
and then you have the amenities and the restaurants. You
Yeah,
have a lot of things right there where you don't even have to leave
yeah.
the town if you didn't want to.
That's
And
right.
and so I imagine that you guys have something very similar there.
Yeah, Boulder's a really special spot. It's actually quite interesting. I don't know if you know this, and most people probably don't, but Boulder was the first city in the US to implement a tax, and then we voted on it. It was like, I think it was in the 70s. So we is not me, but whoever
Hmm.
was here in the 70s voted to tax its citizens, and it's a minor tax. I mean, in comparison to around the country, our real estate taxes are so low. But
Hmm.
we tax our citizens in order to buy up what's called open space and mountain parks.
Hmm.
Open space and mountain parks, Boulder has purchased all the land surrounding the town that will never be built on. It's
Hmm.
open space, it's
Yeah.
trail systems, it's mountains, it's parks. So imagine if you took Cary, North Carolina, and insulated it and
Yep.
said sprawling growth cannot happen. Cary and Raleigh will never connect because the sprawl in between is impossible.
Yep.
That's what Boulder did to protect itself from the sprawl of Denver. Isn't that interesting?
That is very interesting.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's what's kept our values really high. It's imagine like, okay, maybe on a different scale, but Malibu, right on the ocean. Well, you can't build in the ocean, right? And like
Hmm.
there's mountains in Malibu where you can't build there, like it's owned, like it's national forest or whatever.
Yeah.
So Boulder has done that to itself. It's insulated itself by virtue of its tax to its citizens, and but our park systems are amazing because of this.
Yeah.
And then we don't sprawl, we don't grow like that. We have limited housing, which is a problem. And it's really hard to find you can't just like develop a new neighborhood like that kind of land doesn't exist here.
Mm.
Yeah.
Got it. Mm.
By the way, FYI, I saw a cool house today in Leonard's email in Cary, North Carolina. I can't remember. I thought it was like high end, like 6 million.
Oh,
Is that
really?
okay?
I have not seen Leonard's email yet, but our prices have started to inch up towards
Interesting.
that way in the
Yeah, that's
luxury space.
crazy for North Carolina. That seems but crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's. I mean, we had a 10 million not too long ago that
Wow.
recently closed, and to us that was like wow, you know.
Yeah,
So
who's moving to Cary or Raleigh or in the Triangle? Who's moving there that's buying these luxury listings from you guys?
a lot of folks from California.
Uh,
That's a big feeder market for us. The
yeah.
Bay Area in
Okay.
particular, we have a
Same.
huge tech um, community here,
Oh, okay.
and so that's a big feeder market. New York
Okay.
is a big feeder market. New Jersey,
Yeah.
folks from
People want
Florida,
an educated, slower life, right? They're
yeah,
educated, but they just don't want the hustle and bustle of Northern California and New York. That's what I feel like Boulder is too. So that's interesting, like the parallel between our markets.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, Carrie, you don't just sell real estate, but you are also building a company. Uh, what have you found to be the biggest difference between being that specialist who's showing property and handling negotiations versus being that CEO who has to cast a vision and manage and take a more bird's eye view approach to the business?
I've loved it. I mean, I have really enjoyed the challenge of it because I don't. I don't, again, probably to the detriment of some of the choices I make in life, but I don't like sitting still and just being like, oh, this is cool. I'll just be an agent for the rest of my life and I can just
Hmm.
work on this island. Like, I come from team sports. I love being part of a team
Yeah.
and building like a culture. Um, I'm not going to say it's because of me, but I've never been on a team that had bad culture. My college soccer team, like, it was the coolest environment. Like, we just like still like sisters to me. I
Yeah.
mean, still girls who I call them my 2 a.m. jail calls. Like, that's who I would call if I was in jail at 2
Right.
a.m. They are my
Yep.
sisters, my soul sisters.
Yep.
And I had the same experience in cycling on the team. In the teams I was with cycling, we had such good vibes. Like, so I love that. I love counting on other people. I love people relying on me. I love supporting other people and also
Hmm.
having that support in return. So it's been a challenge because it's a business world and you have to make business decisions.
Sure.
But I've really, really enjoyed the taking that on that challenge and creating something that's so special. We just have a really special team and one that almost weekly we have to tell people that we're not growing anymore
Mm.
because we all get along, we all work together and really, really help each other.
Yep.
And we're a busy producing team. So from the outside, it looks glamorous. It looks like, oh, there's so much fun. I want to be a part of it. It's hard ass work. Like, it is hard. And sometimes there's hard conversations and it's not always like unicorns and rainbows, but God, has it been fun and so
Hmm.
rewarding. Like, I don't know where this is going. There's not on my radar, like of this
Hmm.
succession plan and running a team and not producing. That's not who I am. I love real estate too much to step away from that. But I do love the idea of having this team and continuing to grow in a smart fashion, not necessarily number of agents, but in what we can do
Yep.
together as a team. Yeah.
How important is culture and how protective are you of it?
So important, and I will protect that with everything. Like, the
Mm.
second I feel, we've had moments where, like, look, it's a bumpy road. Like, I'm not perfect. Like, I don't have it all figured out. But I think my the team leader and I, Kristen Kalush is my business partner. She and I are humble enough to know that, like, we're not going to be perfect. And like, when we hit a bump in the road, when we've messed up, whether it's contract negotiations or with our agents, or hiring mistakes or whatever it is, like,
Yep.
we're humble enough to be like, okay, we're sorry, we're not perfect, help us, to our team members, help us figure this out, because what we have together is way more important than Kristen and I being right.
Hmm.
And that's truly how I feel. And I think that's how good coaches are too. Like,
Yeah.
a good coach in the sporting world will be able to say, I screwed up. Please tell me how I screwed up so we won't do that again. Even though they're supposed to be the person in charge. So,
Yep.
yeah, I love it. Do you have a team?
I do. Yeah. And
Wonderful.
well, where are we now? We're 14 people now.
Whoa.
And yeah, and when I first started a team,
Yeah.
my idea of a team was 150 people.
Yeah.
I basically a small brokerage, if you
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
And the reason for that was because I have a friend, couple of friends who they manage really, really large teams.
Hmm.
Long story short, I got up to 22 agents, Cari,
Okay.
and I was really unhappy.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was unhappy because, and this was my fault. To your point, I had to look myself in the mirror and say, Steve, we got to do something different.
Yeah.
Because what I started to realize was that I had a lot of people who they all just wanted something. They all want, but they didn't want to contribute to
Oh, yep.
the
Yep.
team. And I had a few people who were without question a part of the team.
That's right.
They believed in the vision. They wanted to cultivate what we have and really make it better. And I was hurting those guys for a
Yeah.
period of time
Interesting.
because yeah, and
You were
so
adding masses instead of adding the right culture and the right personality.
that's it. That's it. And so finally, I made some choices where I said, this is what have to happen. And
Yeah.
so let go of a lot of people. And occasionally, it happens every once in a while now, but the team that I have today, the people that I have today, I'm super proud of. I
Yeah.
mean, they are a group of people who really love doing this business
Yeah.
and being a part of the Compass culture and our culture and really moving us forward. And so it took some time to get to that point, but I'm happy that I did.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think we've all been there where you have this vision of like, oh, I mean, because it sounds fun and glamorous,
Yep.
like run this team, but it's like at some point, do you want to be in real estate or do you just want to own a business? Because
Yep.
you could go buy a Subway franchise and own a business,
Hmm.
and I think actually that would be a lot easier. So, so,
Yep.
so yeah, right? Because
It would.
you're managing hourly employees, not like, you know, real estate agents have big personalities and big responsibilities, and it's a stressful job.
That's right.
But I think culture is everything.
Yeah.
Because why do it if it's unhappy? Like,
Yep.
what's the point? Like, look, for anyone who's listening, who's thinking you want to run a team to make a lot of money, it doesn't work that way.
No,
Like,
it doesn't.
no, I remember us interviewing. I had lunch with a big agent, like a medium-sized, decent agent who wanted to join our team, and I was like,
Sure.
"Wow, her numbers are great! Like, what an honor that she would want to join our team." And so I remember though asking her, and she fits right in with all of us. She would like really get along. But I remember asking her like, so why do you want to be part of a team? Like, what do you want from a team? Or I didn't say, what do you want from a team? I said, why would you want to be part of our team? And she goes, well, I'm looking at next year and I'm going to be traveling a whole lot. So I think that I really just want the support of people covering from some of my listings. And I'm like, whoa, red flag. And this
Mhm.
person's a friend of mine, right? Like
Mhm.
red flag, like she literally told me what she needed from the team, not what she wanted to contribute to the culture.
Yep.
And I think that's what I love about we've got 9, every single one of us is we contribute something different to the culture.
Right.
Every one of us are like, we see value in the team and we love to be a part of it. Like we do social stuff together, not all the time. We don't have to be best friends, but everyone has a birthday. We go out for, happy hour for their birthday or whatever it is. We have a great culture.
That, and that's just so important. And so I asked you that question because the top agents who have teams, they really are very picky about who they decide to allow within their tribe, so to speak. Because one bad apple can most certainly
That's right.
change a lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And it's rewarding when it's right.
Absolutely. So couple of last questions for you, Cari. What are some of the top up and coming neighborhoods around Boulder right now that people should be paying attention to?
Yeah, good question. So there's Boulder County and there's the city of Boulder.
Okay.
City of Boulder is so expensive. It's out of reach for most people. Most people who move here from out of town. There's pockets. I would not call them up and coming because they've already exploded a little bit. There's great pockets where you can find houses to renovate that still have margin. But there's a little, I wouldn't call it a town because it's just an unincorporated part of Boulder called Gun Barrel, right outside the city of Boulder. It's got like the only like country club that Boulder has. We're not really a country club culture,
Okay.
but it's a great. It's 10 minutes outside of Boulder. It's where it got built in the like 50s, 60s. The 60s and 70s as an IBM like place where everyone who worked at IBM. You remember the days where people worked at the place for 50 years?
Yeah.
Well, they all lived in the same community, and they built this like golf course and pool and tennis, and so it's like up and coming. But I'll tell you, there's we call them the L towns in Boulder County, and there's Louisville, Lafayette, Longmont, Lyons.
Okay.
Louisville and Lafayette are in Boulder County, so Boulder County school systems, but they're in between. They're towards Denver. So I am a huge believer in the upside of Lafayette and Louisville. Louisville's gotten expensive. It's only 10 minutes outside of Boulder. Lafayette's like 15 minutes just on the other side. It's more
Mhm.
towards Denver. But for someone moving to Boulder County who wants all the goodness of Boulder County, the trails, the park systems, the school systems, the lifestyle, the good vibes, um, and if you have a job in Denver and need to commute to Denver, or if your budget is such that you can't necessarily afford the houses in the city of Boulder, Lafayette is like, it is I love that town.
Mm.
So Lafayette, Colorado, for anyone who's listening, who's thinking about Boulder County, that's a great investment right now.
What's the average sales price right now in Boulder County,
Boulder
approximately?
the county is probably in the sevens
Okay.
somewhere. The city of Boulder average price point has actually dropped year over year. We're down to like 1.3 or something like that for city of Boulder.
Okay.
But we've dropped because our luxury market isn't selling. We have such a glutton of inventory in the luxury market right now.
Really?
We're not selling as many 3.0,
Mm-hmm.
3 million and above. We're not selling as many of those homes right now. So
Is that where the luxury market starts in Boulder?
yeah, Compass calls it 4 million, but really us
Okay.
agents consider it 3 million.
Got it.
Yeah. But we've seen those numbers drop a little bit in the last 3, 4, 5, 6 months. So
Mhm.
our average price points come down, but that's I think if you look at what normal families, not luxury market, are buying, I think you're going to look at our average price point being more around 1.9
Got it.
in the city of Boulder.
How quickly are the luxury homes trading right now?
We've got like 7 months of inventory right now.
Oh,
So,
wow. Okay.
so
Yeah.
they're sitting a little bit. We've got a lot of things going on this year, as you probably do in Raleigh as well, but interest rates, elections, all these
Mhm.
things that are just causing people to pause.
Sure.
We see some crazy money being thrown around at some houses. I mean, some 8 million, 10 million. We're still seeing these houses trade. They're
Mhm.
trading quietly off market. Um,
Mm.
but that 3 to 5 million that's on market, there's such a selection that buyers are able to be picky right now. So it's just like it's slow and steady.
Got it.
Yeah.
How often or are you taking using the private exclusive platform that we have here at Compass as a resource?
Great question. It's such a great resource, but I think its effectiveness varies from state to state.
Hmm.
And in Colorado, not Compass, but everyone in general, had our wrist slapped in 2021. And they really came down on intra office
Hmm.
sales.
Hmm.
And because I think a lot of the companies were doing private exclusive type
Right.
sales,
Pocket listings.
pocket listings. And so our rules changed in Colorado, and it's super strict and a little scary.
Ah, okay.
Do private exclusives. We do them if there's a specific reason that we feel like that risk is worth it. And the risk is if it gets public, um, if for some reason they think we violated the rules, fine number one is $1,500. Fine number two is like $3,500. And fine number three is they'll take away like the license of Compass. Like
Wow.
it's crazy.
That's interesting.
It's not as widely used anymore
Okay.
because of that. I feel like it's getting a little more lenient. Like we're starting to hear whisperings of I got this off market, and really that is the genius of having I had coffee this morning with 6 women from all different agencies. 6 of the
Hmm.
top producing women from all different agencies. It's
Yep.
not just about networking with Compass agents.
That's right. That's right.
Right. I'm doing my job, just maybe not as an official private exclusive. Right.
Yep.
We're having the talks of who's got what coming up, who knows of anything like that this buyer of mine needs. So, I think that's one of the things that people don't realize that we do because we're good at our jobs.
Well, that's one of the most important relationships we can have as agents is
Totally.
agent to agent relationship. I mean,
100%.
I can't have all the buyers.
Right.
We have to be able to connect with, someone offline and say, hey, hey, I got this coming on the market. Do you have a buyer
Yeah.
potentially? I mean, and the amount of properties we have sold just by picking up the phone is mind blowing.
Right. Right. Isn't that crazy? I
Yeah,
mean, wow. Do you guys do a ton of private exclusives in North Carolina? Is that a big thing for
it's a
you?
big thing. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a big thing. And so we don't do it with every property, but in our office in particular, you see on a weekly basis at least, I would say, 10 to 15 private exclusives come across my desk.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it's very common.
We're like one a week, maybe.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's got to be a reason the sell. I mean, not there doesn't have to be, but like usually there's a reason, like a seller. Like our team has a private. Well, it's going live this week, but we had a private exclusive for the last month or so, and it was because they didn't want to put a sign in the yard while the kids were finishing the school
Hmm.
season, and there's good reasons why people want to do a private listing first, but we just don't see much of it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get it. I get it. Good to know. Good to know. Cari Higgins, this has really been such a treat. Last question for you. Any last remarks that you would like to leave to the audience that you think might be impactful, insightful, something for, the agent community to know, something for the pro athlete community to know, anything at all?
Drink more coffee. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
I love my coffee. There you go.
Cheers.
Perfect. Yeah, that.
I
No,
need to
that's
warm it up.
yeah. I do love my coffee. What life does not start without a cup of coffee. I think that to the agent community, I think that we're in a really strange time. And I remind myself of this all the time. And I want to remind you of that, Stephen. I want to remind all agents who are like seem frustrated or down and the number, like our numbers from 2022, 2021, 2020, part of 2023, those weren't normal. Stop
Hmm.
comparing yourself to that,
Yep.
right? And no athlete has gone through their career without losing or having like a little, like, I don't think that like any of us are in a slump. I'm not saying the market's in a slump, but we're comparing our workload and our busy schedules. We're comparing to that from what we just got done with, which was 2022, 2021, 2020. Like that's absurd. Stop comparing yourself to that. And just like it's the mindset um, of just staying focused on the long-term game.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta lose some games. You gotta pick up some new skills. You gotta start practicing your new skills. You gotta stay motivated. I think when people get down and they think the market's down or the luxury market's not selling and the summer's going to be slow, it's like negative, 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 negative. It's like
Hmm.
create your own narrative and
That's it.
keep focused on the end game. Like I just don't understand when people don't do that. So I mean, I guess that's my little like speech I'm always giving. But
I love that. That's
yeah.
so good. That's so good. Um, any events you have coming up here within the next couple of months that
Mm.
client appreciation events or just events in general that you're going to?
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for asking. I've got a couple nonprofits that I organize a bike ride in Aspen, Colorado.
Hmm.
This will be the 15th year for we help bring water to the country of Zambia, and like by 2025, I think we're gonna help have provided we're not the implementers, but the company that does the implementation to provide clean water to every single community in Zambia, which has been
Wow.
a really amazing. Successful story to be a part of. So that's in July in Aspen, which is a huge part of how I like to give back, and that's been fun. So that's a bike ride in Aspen. I'm going to the Olympics with USA Cycling and like
Nice.
to cheer on the athletes with that. And then I do a big, huge client appreciation party at my house. I live on a couple acres. We got food trucks, and I do that at the end of every summer, like to celebrate like end of summer and bringing in the fall. So that's coming up. It always comes up quicker. So
Hmm.
yeah, always some fun things happening here in Boulder. I would say if anyone wants to travel to Boulder, I will find some fun. There's always events like non-competitive running events or
Yep.
like floating down the river events. Like so, there's always stuff going on here.
I love it. I love it. Cari Higgins, thank you so much for your time
Thank
today.
you.
This
It's
was
been awesome.
awesome. Absolutely.
Super
Absolutely.
fun.
And I'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Okay, we'll do that. Have a
Thank
good
you.
one. Take care.
Can't stop, we can't lose, you can't win if you snooze. So do more and say less. So get up and let's work and be the best. Yeah, you're tuned in to the Steve Gunner Podcast. Yeah, the Steve Gunner Podcast. You're tuned in to the Steve Gunner Podcast. Get up, it's the Steve Gunner Podcast.